Martino, just like Macho Man back in the 80s, he needed a partner. He needed a partner because, they were going after Miss Elizabeth and everything. And who came out? The immortal Hulk Hogan. They did the handshake. And that's what I got from you today. Because, Stevie P, he's on, special correspondent on location. We're pretending this is a paid kind of vacation, but Stevie P's in Milan. Vinnie Mancini from Patreon. Facebook Frank GPT is in Milan. They brought us some luck, but Martino, thank you very much for joining. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, a Derby win. Maybe not the prettiest of wins, but we're going to talk about this Derby win. We're going to talk about avete rubato, because that's what I heard this morning at the bar. Avete rubato. We're going to talk about the controversies. In the end, there's no asterisk next to our win. It is 3 points, keeping hopes alive. Dude, are you ready?
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be back.
Okay, so as long as you're ready, because let's get the show on the road, because we have lots to talk about. And here we go. Cari amici sportivi, welcome you to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan. No, it is not That Milan Podcast. Can we go with Vinnie T and Marty P?
Derby?
Like Marty Scorsese. I'm sure his name is not Marty.
No, it's Martin. Yeah, no Martino.
Martino è più professionale, scusa. Martino Puccio with me, Vinnie T, Milano e Rossonera once again. Thank you for joining me tonight. Stevie P, he's on location. He's in Milan. He's probably still wasted. I've been keeping on the Peroni since yesterday. But Martino, buddy, how are you? For everybody living under a rock, because you know what, some people might not know. We have the same kind of followers and the same kind of haters. So some people might know both of us, but for people that not know you, who are you? Plug yourself, do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, thank you, Vinny. Always good to be back. I think this might be my third or fourth time on this podcast. It's one of my favorites. We always give shout outs to everybody, coast to coast with Gio and Fabio is always good, but if you guys don't know me, I host That Milan Podcast with Matt Santangelo, another big Milanista. We've been doing content for years, not as long as you guys. I'm not trying to age you, but it's been a while, and it's been a lot of fun, and to see the ups and downs of this club over the past 10 years or so doing this. It's just great to be back and talk. And after we finally do so well in these matches, even though we're still in a difficult position overall. But just very happy to be here. And everybody is great. The community that you guys have here, the ones that join us as well. And even the haters a little bit. They're
the haters, that's what I love about, would it be content creators like ourselves. And, there are no enemies. There shouldn't be enemies. And would it be us criticizing the team, celebrating after a win like this? It is what it is. I wanted to start off because, Vinnie Mancini, part of MWP, the Patreon group, originally from Winnipeg, part of Milan Club Toronto. He's there with, Facebook Frank GPT, Stevie P is there. And he sent us a picture. And I asked him, I go, Vinny, you gotta give us content to that. And Vinny, guys, don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. But I'm gonna let him explain to you this image that he sent us.
Alrighty, everybody. This is Vincenzo Mancini from Milan Club Toronto, holding it down here in Milan just after the Derby. All I can say is, holy moly, what an experience. There's a picture you're going to see, or Vinny's going to post, and it's going to show you something that's fairly incredible. And the story behind this picture, and the reason why I had to take it, is every time I watch the Derby, I watch it at home with friends, and my friends don't come to watch the Derby. They come to watch me. And in the Derby, they always ask, Vince, what's your heart rate at? And I always have to show my watch, and they can't believe it. So this time, I wanted to see what it would actually be like at the Derby itself. What you're about to see is my actual heart rate just after the goal was scored. Hopefully everybody enjoys. And one more thing. Yes, Milan, with all of this shit happening, has probably taken off 10 to 15 years of my life, that or made my heart stronger. Anyways, sempre forza Milan, and stay well, everybody.
I love the fact, is it taking 10, 15 years away from my life, or does it make my heart stronger? Martino, to you, is your heart stronger being a Milan fan, or is it taking 10, 15 years away from your life?
I was talking about this yesterday after we went live, that I didn't have my watch on me to track things, because sometimes it's a workout. I was pacing. It must have been around the 75th minute or something, where Milan just didn't have the possession. They were just letting Inter have it. Very much like the Napoli game a couple months ago, where you're like, please just like don't concede, like just do anything and everything. You're just like looking at the watch, pacing around. I'm already losing it. I'm usually better than this, but yeah, I mean,
it's okay. Have a glass of water. I'm gonna keep the people entertained. Don't worry about it, guys. You know what? It we call this, like, maybe Scudetto hopes revived. There are only hopes, and President gave us a nice graph what we're going to be talking about after. In the end, whether it be 2014, 2026, a Derby win is a Derby win. And I felt, the way we played, especially, like, look, I wasn't expecting anything different on the starting lineup. Estupiñán came out to play, man. He's like, no, I need to, I want to start. And, yeah, we should talk. We should talk a lot of the Estupiñán's performances so far. But you know what? For you, were you expecting anything different? We've seen where Allegri might try the full Krug up front and the wingers on the side. Do you think he was going to do that on this game? Were you surprised with the starting lineup and maybe Fofana instead of Ricci? But what were your thoughts?
I don't think the lineup surprised me with Bartesaghi out. I think he had no choice for Estupiñán. Bartesaghi, like, as well as he played this year, the kid, he's had some moments where he's cost us. Not always his fault, but just growing pains as a player. So I didn't really expect too much. I thought that we were going to come out and with high energy, because we had to. We literally had no choice, because even if he wants to say it's top four, even the most pessimistic of fans are like, this deficit is too great to overcome. We still had to come out and get the 3 points. And that's exactly what they did. This all season long, you know how we invite other teams to attack us and then we hit them on the counter. It looked like from minute one in this game that we came out with the proper energy to attack Inter, because I think one of the statistics came out. I'm not sure if you saw it, but we are the worst pressing team in the top 5 leagues in Europe. That we do not do anything in terms of that. That's a crazy YouTube name in the comments section, by the way. That is a pretty pathetic.
Puccio's mom.
like that. That's embarrassing.
You have more haters than we do. Look at you. You're popular.
You went out of your way to make a YouTube account. That's embarrassing.
Good for him. Good for him.
Crazy. Yeah. I bet it's Adamo. But anyways, I was really just impressed with that energy for the entire 90 minutes. I don't think that they were lacking.
It could have been 2-1, 3-1, because Mkhitaryan and the Interista at the bar this morning is like, I go, what happened? He's like, he got confused. He was all alone in front of goal. He didn't know what the hell was going on, but it could have very easily been 2-1, 3-1. And we're gonna talk about. I want to talk about. Look, we're celebrating. It's fine. It's dandy. I know it's 7 points right now. It looks like the survey on YouTube says that 45% of people still believe in the Scudetto. We've seen it. I think 1999. What I was reading up is the last time that we were, I believe, 7 points behind with 7 games left.
Lazio collapsed, right? I think
Lazio had collapsed. Yeah. So, looking at the way we had to the way I spoke to Interistas today, Interistas with their head on their shoulders, guys like Nima, our friend, didn't need to win, and it showed. And it showed. I want to talk about Leao, and I want to get your opinion because this is the conversation that we were having, and we're going to talk about who takes credit and who takes blame after. But we're not coaches, Martino. You and I. Allegri's am I going out on a limb saying top 10 coach in the world right now? Am I going far-fetched on that one?
No, there's not that many out there that are that good anyways. I think what he's done this year easily.
He's got eyes. He's got eyes like you and I. He's seen these performances. People talking about he's not running, he's not engaged. Then my conversation goes back to, is this what Allegri wants? Then goes the conversation where, but if he's not giving his all, Allegri will be the first one to sub him out. He had the chances to put us up, and it just didn't happen. This whole story of him staying home, whatever, he needs to concentrate. What's your take? What's your take on Leao and the way he's been going? And I don't want to talk about should we sell him?
Right.
I want to talk about Leao and put yourself in Allegri's shoes. Like, give me the other side of the coin. What is it? Something that maybe we don't see?
So I bring this point up to a lot of people when it comes to him because a lot of people are very harsh on him, and we all know why. Because he's the most talented player on the team. If you take Modric out, if you want. I think he's clearly hurt this year. He's been hurt the entire time. Allegri has to talk about it in the press conferences. He can't sprint. We know, in an instance in this match, right, where we see an opportunity where he's one-on-one with Akanji, and he doesn't attack him. He doesn't go forward and try and burst past the player.
Which we've seen in the past.
Yeah. To me, that proves he's hurt. I know when people say he doesn't work off the ball, defensive work is terrible. That's always been true, right? But despite that, when he gets the ball, he attacks everybody, even when he doesn't have the defensive work rate. So to me, I think it's clear he is not healthy. I don't find excuses for players like that, though, if you're on the field, right? Like the same goes for Pulisic, who's been hurt. He's been nursing it. If you're on the field, then I expect you to play well when you wear this badge. And he's not playing that well. And Vinny, he's still second in the league in scoring, which is crazy. He's tied with a bunch of other players. This is supposedly the worst version of him, I guess. I think Allegri knows what are his options. And Nkunku does not fit in this team. He is not a striker. He is not he has to play off of a striker, right? But when we're using 2 wingers for that, we have one goal from our strikers this season, right? Like our strikers. Füllkrug, it's just the 1 goal. And then Santi Jimenez got nothing. So I think Allegri's been limited with options and how he's been able to approach things. I think Leao, it's disappointing for him this year, and the same goes for Pulisic, that they're neither healthy enough to give their 100% week in, week out, because I think that would be a more fair assessment. And with the World Cup coming up, neither player is going to want to sit for a long time or opt for a surgery that might keep them out for an extended period and take a while to come back from. I just think I think he is clearly hurt. And last year was an inexcusable year from him. And you know what's funnier too? He already has more league goals this year than he did all of last year. So I think that
Martino's spitting facts, guys.
These are facts, and I don't like to always make the excuses for like the laziness off the ball. There's no denying.
No, it's just that, you know,
strolling. He goes for a stroll in the park. There's no denying it.
You know, when you have guys like Leao and Pulisic that have not been what they're supposed to be, then you have a guy wearing his Timberlands, because even from the camera, you could see that he was wearing. Guys, I'm sorry. It's not because he gives us one great fucking pass that erases everything else he did in this game, because he was fucking horrible. Fofana. Even Steve said he's even more horrible live. Who scores? Who? I was like, no, guys, the VAR is going to come out. It's impossible. It's probably Bartesaghi in a mask. Estupidante, as Steve would like to call him. Very happy for the guy scoring in a derby, man of the match, obviously. But that goal, it was coming. It was coming. A lot of mistakes from Inter, and I just felt that Inter were just not taking this game very seriously. It's just like, we could manage to lose. I know that they came back like when they were down 1-0, but Estupiñán scoring, and take me. I don't know. What did you watch at home? Did you go to your local bar?
No. I stay at home. If I go somewhere, I go to the city. But you know, with the content, I just stay home for big matches like this. It's just easier for us. I mean, it was weird how easy this goal was compared to most of the times we score against Inter, right? Like Sommer spilled the shot last game, and you know, we romped them in the Coppa Italia where it was like 3 goals scored. This was just, everything was perfect. I think it was Modric out to Tomori or Fofana to Leao, back to Fofana. And the Fofana pass, like almost immediately after he started messing up again. But this was like the best pass of his Milan career.
Like, holy shit.
I think Allegri had mentioned it about Luis Enrique in the post-match, saying he was basically alluding to it. I'm paraphrasing, saying we were ready for him to make a mistake. Because Enrique did the one thing that you got to be infuriated with professionals if you're watching the ball as a defender and not watching your ball on the man. And Luis Enrique realized too late that Estupiñán ran behind him, and I love the lack of hesitancy when he shot. Just rip it. Don't think about how much has been going poorly for you, because we've seen that with Santi Jimenez and other players that come here and struggle. He just said, I'm a professional. I'm in and behind the defense right now. Just rip that shot. And it was fantastic. And I got to say, kudos to him, because we all know this. It is not easy when things don't go well for you at a club like this, because it could go downhill and you never recover. This was just a huge moment for him. So it was really great to see. I was just stunned that Inter just got sliced open like that. They
completely. It didn't make any sense to me. And even, you know, the way the Sommer mistake, a lot of cheap balls lost from Inter. I know the second half was a completely different game, but even Mkhitaryan, it just seemed like, we were dominating in the first half, right? And I'm like, no, don't let him capitalize on our mistakes. And it happened on the Leao cheaply losing the ball. And all of a sudden, they're on her, and I just love Mkhitaryan didn't know what the hell was going on. He's like, oh my God, I'm in front of goal. Let me just shoot. And one of the Interistas, the old man at the bar, is like, but you know what kind of talent you need to shoot directly on goalie? He goes, he could have shot anywhere. So I love that one. But your takes on the first half, and are you with me that this could have been very easily 2-1, even 3-1, because we did miss a lot of chances there.
3-1 for us, you're saying?
Yeah.
Maybe
2-1, maybe more.
I think Leao just he got in behind that. He should have done a good job of, you know, finishing his opportunities, or that when he had that, I think Pulisic set him up well for it. In turn, I also think Inter should have scored right. There was another chance in the second half with Di Marco. I think he just completely whiffed it. Which he's been the MVP of the league. He's going to win it if they don't collapse. Like he's about to set the Serie A assist record. And he's
by the way, he's better than Maldini. I don't know if you heard on the internet machine, because they got
5 guys better than him apparently. But
okay. There we go.
Bastoni, the best young defender, he's not even going to be better than freaking Thiago Silva. So that's besides the point.
Taking it to the second half, Milan was under pressure, right? We could see that Inter was playing a little bit different on there. But, the big guns are not out. Well, if you want to call Lautaro a big gun, because definitely he can't score against big teams. Hakan on the bench there. They did everything but score, Inter. And we're going to take it through the 90th minute there. But your feelings seeing Inter kind of high pressure. I don't want to say high pressure because they weren't really that dangerous. Like I felt they're attacking. I get it. We were pretty compact, right? Leao, I will give him this. I think Sergio said it. He did track back somehow. But what were your feelings about Inter even trying to be dominant on that one? Were you fearing that tying goal before we get into the 90th minute?
Right. Like ruling out that it's just a derby and high intensity with a 1-0 lead. No, honestly, they just didn't threaten much at all. We both had the same amount of shots on target, and I think the only time that I was ever nervous was Mkhitaryan's chance. Outside of that, they did not do anything. They had 63% possession in this game, and that's empty possession. If you remember when Barcelona used to have tiki-taka and they would have 60-70% possession, but they would lose a game 1-0. And everyone's like, we had so much possession. It depends what you do with the ball. They were doing nothing. Milan allowed them to do that. Allegri, I thought, ran circles around Kivu's been terrible in big games. The reason Inter have this lead, and we all know it, is because they beat up on all the bad teams. Like they should. And something that we haven't done. And it's why we're in the position we're in. But every single big game, they do the same thing where one thing goes poorly for them, and then it just looks like they panic and they don't have any ideas. The midfield was terrible, like absolutely awful. I don't really think anyone from Inter played well. I don't look at any of those players and say that guy was threatening tonight and doing this or that. Nobody was doing any of that.
Esposito touched the ball, dude. Generational talent, Esposito, that everybody was. I think Pavlovic is our new striker. I just put that out there. Pavlovic is our striker. That's what it is. But Esposito didn't touch the ball, or maybe at the end over there. But it's like, nobody was dangerous, and I love the fact that we won. Frank didn't get arrested, but did end up crossing paths with Inter Ultras after the loss at Piazza Duomo. The Inter Ultras were celebrating their 118th anniversary. Frank, don't get fucking arrested. I want to talk about refereeing. Doveri was announced before, and I want us to try to take out our Milan hats. I felt he fucking reffed a fantastic game. Right. A fantastic game. Didn't call shit, I think, until the Rabiot with Bastoni yellow card. And some people was like, it could have been a red card. I get it, guys. But at that point of that game, I know it's not right to say at this point in this game, you can't call. I get it. But I think throughout the game, didn't lose control. Doveri refed a fantastic game, according to me, right? I did want to bring up, yes, the controversies at the end, even though I think maybe Cesari, the only one that said, no, that should have been VAR, should have intervened. The AIA came out and supported Doveri's decision, right? The unnatural position, the deflection, this and that. But I wanted to ask you about what the real Interistas this morning was asking me was about that corner kick. And they were trying to debate, but did he call a foul? Because if he calls a foul, why are they retaking the corner kick? And I want to take your take on the penalties. And the way I was looking at it is that if that would have happened to us, yes, I would have been pissed. But it is what it is. I think the fact of the matter is, it's not. I'm not a Marotta League kind of guy and everything. I think the fact is that we've seen that called a penalty shot, like Cremonese and Lecce in that morning. what were your takes on the last 5 minutes of the game? Did that take away from the reffing of this game, according to you?
No, I don't think it did. So there's like a couple of things, right? I first and foremost, I'm like you. There is no larger conspiracy. I think people need to relax. But this is what happens when people have PTSD. But the consistency across the league is terrible. I'll use an example soon as to why. So we'll go with like the whistle. The whistle was blown. It doesn't matter. We saw like Maignan and Bastoni shoving each other earlier in the game where Doveri had to go in and say, stop it. And all that kind of physicality happens on corner kicks. Everybody knows that you play the game. That happens. That's where it gets physical. He blew the whistle. Everybody heard it, right? Like everybody heard that whistle get blown. It doesn't matter what his reasoning was. We all heard it. And it's harder to hear it there because it's loud. I get that. Whatever. But it was blown. So I don't want to hear Interisti complain about that. Okay? That doesn't matter. The handball, however, the consistency in the league is the problem here. I think the majority and average person, if you look at that, you take off the colors of whatever of these kits, and you just look at the play and look what happened to him. What is he supposed to do with his arm? Where is it supposed to go? It's not in an unnatural position. He's not making it wide. He's literally bringing it in, and it's by his side. And it was shot right at him. Like it's with no time to react. So I don't. If his arm was out further, then sure, I understand that. It didn't go to VAR for a reason. Like I'm sick of it. We've gotten called for worse this year. You remember when Coney De Winter got the handball? It was kicked right at his arm, right on his side, and they called it. This was just a pretty obnoxious way for Inter fans to justify why they dropped points, in my opinion. They weren't good enough.
I think honestly, the only reason they dropped points today because they didn't come out to play. And you could talk about tell me that Inter was dominant all game and it deserved that goal. I could understand the argument, but in the end, it gets deflected off, as my friend Steve would say, dumb fries, and his arm. I think the consistency is a problem there, but I think when only one of these experts calls it, why didn't VAR intervene, whatever the case may be, and everybody else is just supporting the decision, in the end, it is what it is. But they also, sorry to cut you off, they don't understand the process. They look at everything. If it looks like it might be something, VAR is in the room looking at that replay. They are supposed to be the ones to tell Doveri, okay, you have to go and check this because we think you missed this. And it might be a call that should be reversed. But the call in the field was no handball. And it has to be a clear and obvious error. Within that situation, nothing was clear and obvious about that handball. So you can't go and change that. That's how it works. That is the process. And then the consistency side of things. The one example I wanted to bring up, right? Yeah. Parma's game-winning goal against us. Not only did they not call the foul on Troilo, the goal scorer, who pushed down on Bartesaghi without really letting him get a chance to jump. The initial call was on a pick on Maignan, right? Because they were blocking him. You're well-versed. Did you listen to that audio? I still couldn't figure out after that audio. So that's my point. If you saw Parma play the very next week, I forget who they played, they had a goal disallowed because of a goalie pick. And that's the lack of consistency. It was the same exact thing. And I don't think it should have been. I don't think Maignan made an attempt to go out and do something in that Parma game that prevented him from being blocked, right? Like if you're a goaltender in hockey, someone's in your crease and blocking you, that is a foul, right? Like they rule it out, whatever they call it. This, like if Maignan isn't making an attempt, no one is technically impeding him. If he's standing still, it's not a foul. So that was like kind of my issue, but it was the same exact thing that happened next week. And that's the inconsistency of it, where I understand where fans can get upset. It doesn't matter who you root for. That lack of consistency and ideology of why that's it hurts, the pick and why it's not. Martino, it hurts. It hurts to say, but in the end, Steve and I said the same thing, is that wrong call or not, you had no business being 0-0 against Pisa at home in the 88th minute. So, the consistency, but I just felt he did a very good job, especially in a big game like this. Look, before we get into Fubo, actually, you know what? Before I get in, who takes credit for this game to you? Your tops and flops. Who takes credit and who's to blame? Look, for me, I know Leao's the easy pick on this one. And again, it's not because you did one fantastic pass. It's Timberlands. They're fucking even orange colors. They look like Timberlands. Fofana sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Like I'm trying. And I'm looking and I'm like, if Richie was there, maybe it was different, but one fantastic, perfect pass does not erase the fact of the other. But he shot on target. No, but you guys don't see everything that he missed, these passes that he missed, whatever the case may be. Why is he attacking? I'm sorry, because Leao is the easy target. I'm gonna go with Fofana taking blame on this one, and for credit, I'm gonna go with Modric. It's just maybe he didn't stand out to say, but he just kept calm and did what he had to do. Got his first yellow card. Good for him. Modric and Rabiot obviously missing the next game against the mighty Lazio. But how about you, man? Do you agree with me? Who's your top and flop?
I agree with how you were talking about Fofana. I don't think one play should rule out all the other tons of plays that he misreads. Like, midfielders have to be judged differently. I'm fine with judging an attacking player. Like Cristiano Ronaldo is like the perfect example of this in the later half of his career. In that full 90 minutes, Ronaldo was not putting in good shifts, but he was scoring, so it just didn't matter. And that's his job. Fofana's job is to do many things, and he did many things poorly yesterday. He got the assist, so it's hard for me to rip on him. This is a player, though, who I'll pick as the flop, who I think has been struggling a lot in 2026. This is Salamakers. There was quite a few instances in this game where he's giving the ball away almost immediately. I'm talking like the last 15-20 minutes where Milan need to keep their composure, maintain the possession, and he's got happy feet, right? Because he's an Energizer Bunny type of player that is always trying to win the ball back, press. He was trying to do too much, and I thought he was really poor when he had the ball at his feet, making some really poor passes back towards goal, just giving it away after he had just won it back. I thought he was the bigger flop. For me, I was going to go with Modric too. I'm sorry, I have never seen a 40-year-old this good at this sport. I haven't. There's. I don't care if you're playing once a week. We saw Zlatan play in this team. We saw Cristiano play in this league. We have Messi over here in America now. Nobody's been 40 years old in a game like this, playing this well. Like I was a lot younger when I saw Maldini when he was like 39, 40, right? But he was injured. Modric has been perfectly healthy, playing the entire 90 minutes as a regista, winning the ball back, sprinting. Even at the end, like if you saw the link up when they were time wasting when he got the yellow card, because Sucic hit him in the face accidentally, so he's pissed off. He's like, why isn't anyone calling a foul unless we got a yellow card for? He was incredible. I have never seen anyone like this. I hope to God he stays for another year. This player is just unbelievable. I have
way above expectation. Way above expectation, because you know what, people like to laugh at us at the beginning when we signed them, another 40-year-old, but I think he's one of the reasons Richie's not getting those playing minutes is maybe it's just because Allegri's in love with Fofana. We shall see. But in the end, closing comments on this game, it fucking feels good. I love it. A Milan Derby win. Thank you to Vinnie, to Frank, to Stevie P, especially Stevie P for his first ever experience, not only for a game, a derby. He did say that he hugged a random kid, Stevie P. I love it. But let's say your closing moment. I know it's still minus. You know what? Let's go with. We're going to do Fubo, and because Presidente gave us the graph, I'm going to ask you, let's go with these questions at the percentages that he calculated by hand. So, yeah, let's take a look what happened in week 28 of the Serie A. This segment is brought to you by Fubo.tv, your home for all things Serie A and EPL here in Canada. Si potete anche ascoltare in italiano. And you could record your games in case there's like a Tuesday, Wednesday game a la Serie A style. You remember Rai Italia, Martino. A lot of trompetes this week here. But trompetta not for Bologna. And Bologna losing at home against Verona. And then we're going to take a look at how the fuck is Fiorentina still in contention to be solid. But Bologna, I always said it in the last couple of years, the only reason people talk about Bologna is because the Napolis, the Milans, because they're not performing. And, you know, do you think Bologna was just, you know, a hidden, what do you call it there? A hit in the pan? What do you call it?
Flash in the pan?
You know, yes, a flash in the pan, but Verona.
I think this proves how well ran Atalanta is, because it is very difficult to sell your best players and replace them and maintain the level of competition that they've done. They've been terrible since December, really bad. Verona is by far the worst team in the league. I don't think it's any competition with that. This is embarrassing for Bologna. Italiano might get sacked, and it gets more annoying because we lost that cup final against them too. When we shouldn't have. So
don't remind us, please. Don't remind us. No trumpets in this game. Fiorentina Parma 0-0, battle of the relegation teams, where we're going to take a look pretty soon. Then Roma decided to pull a Lazio, right? They wanted to do a Lazio of the last couple of weeks, losing to Genoa at home. Is this maybe, you know, we're talking about 15, 20 weeks in, separating the contenders from the pretenders. Is this for you like a sign of things to come for Roma? I know we're going to take a look at the table after, but your takes on this performance.
I was asked this on our podcast on you know, how like the mental effect of losing a big game, like, you know, like Inter, like, are they going to capitulate now? Roma drawing against Juve when they were up 3-1 in that game at home, when they should have never been in a position to draw that game, should have been 3 points, start to separate themselves, get back in the Champions League for the first time in years. This game right here makes me terrified for them, because my whole family pretty much are Romanisti. They know what's going to happen. They've seen this movie before, where they play well for quite a stretch, but the talent level catches up to them. They've been great against the really crap teams this year. This was one of their first losses against those terrible sides, and losing to De Rossi makes it all the more painful. But I think Messia scored both goals, or one of them.
Yeah, one of them on a penalty. By the way, Martino, Giuseppe is the first original Milan Club Montreal president, and look at him. He's watching us directly on the YouTube. I went to see him today. Forza Joyous, Forza Milan. Lazio leaving it late, and you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy because I was afraid, because I'm like, Lazio has been more Dr. Jekyll than actually Mr. Hyde, as me and Steve like to call. Winning today, because I'm like, because you know what was going to happen, right? They were going to become Real Lazio by the time we played them on Sunday. But leaving it late, and I think this was a good score. Lazio coming out and scored. But according to you, what's going on with Lazio? I don't know, man. It's just...
Well, Maldini scored in the first couple of minutes, so that was nice. They have the biggest loser owner in the entire league. He is
that's every year.
I cannot stand Claudio Lotito. I think he is an absolute parasite on the league. He is terrible for that club. Everything is never his fault, which is the most irritating thing about this guy. And the bragging that he does when he's like, I rejected over $100 million for this player and that player. You're an idiot.
That's not the brag.
You're not smart. You sound stupid. You bring Sadi back in, and then you say, oh, well, actually, we don't have money. And they can't invest in anybody. And then naturally, the players, when they know they stink, Rovella gets hurt, I think 1 or 2 other players get hurt, then they want to leave. They said Gundosi goodbye, Castellanos goodbye. And then, you know, what is Sadi supposed to do, right? Like, they're losing talent constantly. They're not replacing them. And they don't do a good job of like reloading the squad and getting better players in there. They're probably going to lose.
Remember, wasn't he leaving before the season started? Do you remember that?
Sadi, he was about to do that, because I think it was like in the transfer window, and he's like, yeah. So I had no idea that we had no money. If I had known, then I probably wouldn't have taken the job. And remember, he had quit before that. He had already quit on them. So for him to come back, he's like, I quit a second time. they're a disaster.
But I'm happy.
I don't think the only way is that, a sale happens because they're screwed. It's not going to change. Nobody's going to want to work with or for that guy. Nobody.
So thank you, Lazio, for actually winning that game. Sorry, I missed the first slide, but Napoli. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I was watching this game, and you know what? Okay, let's give him a couple of trompetas, because there was a lot of. By the way, this is the boringest league in the world because we don't score goals. And the 82nd minute, I don't know, he subbed off, and he's hugging and he's smiling, and I'm like, okay, man. As soon as Torino scored that 2-1 goal, I think it was like 5-6 minutes left. Dude, they're completely in shambles. I didn't understand this team. It's like, guys, this is Torino. And they were coming at it. In the end, they needed these 3 points. I know the result does not reflect their performance, but no, Napoli needed this win more than anything else because they need to stay at that top 4, as we're going to see in the next slide.
Listen, I think Conte having once a week to finish off the rest of the season because they were terrible in Europe again. I think this is his last ride with Napoli. I don't see him staying past these last 10 matches. I think he knows
he has la malo de pancia. He has the stomach ache like every other team that he played there.
He's the most unstable manager I have ever seen in my life. That's a good manager, right? It's a good result. I think also this is a reflection of who he is. That there's so much pressure on the players. They've had a lot of injuries. I think that at the end of the day, this guy will get the best out of his players. I still think they like and respect him. The Santos kid, the Brazilian, is playing pretty well, like Vergara.
Yeah.
They just had individuals winning them games, it's not the team performances like they did last year where they were playing as a collective. This year, it's like all these kind of individuals stepping up, like in this game. It's not good 90-minute performances. I have not seen many from them all year.
Seriously, especially into 2026. Como coming up with the 2-1 win. I know a comeback from behind win. I'm going to ask you this. Is Como the new Bologna? Or do you think Como's the real deal?
I think they're too rich not to be the real deal. Their owners are
That's very well said.
The richest in the league. I think they have like a competent project. This isn't just throwing darts. They do invest a lot of money. I think that a lot of people ignore that. Not many teams in Italy, this, can go minus 200 million net spend and be okay. They are, and they'll be fine. We'll see what happens with FFP because they'll probably qualify for Europe. I think they're 4th right now. They have really good players, and I don't think it's like the greatest of jobs. We've seen Atalanta do this for years, and they never got this sort of respect. What Como has done, a guy like D'Acunha scoring that goal for the winner, I think they're legit. We'll see what happens, though, when FFP comes around and see how they operate under the UEFA umbrella. But I think they're legit.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll see what happens. 10 games left, obviously. This was surprising. Atalanta, next opponent for Inter, at home, 2-2 against Udinese. Udinese somehow decided that they want to play on this one. Is it more of a... I don't know, we're going to Champions League against Bayern Munich, and let's, it doesn't feel like Atalanta wants to secure top 4 this year, and a very big Atalanta, especially 28 weeks in, and was Gasperini the glue that held it all together, looking back at last year, right?
I think the Juric hiring at the start of the year was the dumbest hiring that I've seen anybody do. I know they wanted to do that because him and Gasperini had a good relationship, but he was terrible at Roma. He was the whole reason they were like flirting with the relegation battle last year. He was terrible at Southampton because I watched a lot of Premier League. He was awful, and he didn't deserve to take over that project. I like Palladino. He did terrific at Fiorentina. He was good at Monza. Look at both of those clubs after he left, and look at what happened once he took Atalanta back over. They've had some injuries this year, but this one, they had a great comeback. They should have and could have won this game, but to go 2-0 down against Udinese is always inexcusable, to be honest.
Inexcusable.
I know we've had our issues with them in the past, but this is, I think that, it's a transitional year for them. I think if they manage, like, I don't know, Conference League or something, it's pretty good for them. But, this was a terrible result, I think.
In one half, the mighty Juventus, four goals against a mediocre Pisa. I don't know how this game was 0-0 at halftime, but Juve, they're starting to their hopes up. The real Juventinis I see at the bar every morning, they're like, no, we're not going anywhere. This team is fucking scrap. And but this was a much needed, convincing win for Juventus, especially with 10 games left. Do you put any merit on 4 goals in the second half against the lackluster Pisa?
They've been scoring a lot since they got Spalletti. I don't really have any concerns about that. I think that they have enough talent to make top 4, but overall, no. Like, they should beat Pisa, right? It's like when we had good performances last year against some crap sides, it's like, well, yeah, we should. I'm not going to say we turn things around. How many times do we see Juve concede the amount of goals that they conceded? I think, the 7-game stretch that they had prior to this one, the amount of goals that they conceded was more than they conceded in the entirety of the Serie A 2015-2016 season, right? The entire season. That's how far they've fallen off with that. If Bremer's not playing well, they don't play well defensively.
And
they should take care of
Let's remind everybody at the beginning of the season, even bookmakers were putting Juventus to win the Scudetto. I don't know what the hell they saw that one, but it is what it is. Guys, Lecce Cremonese, very entertaining game because of the hours going up. I actually watched the last 15-20 minutes. A lot of controversy in the end. Cremonese losing some points here. Lecce 2-1. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Right now, Martino, I like to ask, would it be Steve, would it be Fabio, would it be whoever's with me? Looking at this right now, I still can't believe that 15 weeks in, if you go back, and I was telling Steve, we're talking like, Fiorentina ain't going to make it. They need the 40 points. And looking at this today, it just shows how bad the lower team, this should be an 18-team Serie A team. Which of these teams, according to you, will have the biggest jump in position? Would it be high or lower out of all of this? Who do you picture making a big splash in the last 10 games of the season?
I think Fiorentina will turn it around. I think they'll get a couple more wins. Once they get Moise Kean back, I think it'll help them greatly. Him not being there is an issue. I think Cremonese has been terrible. I can't believe we lost. That was the most annoying game. That first game in the season. I cannot believe that. I think Cremonese goes down. They keep on getting worse, and I don't think that they have the talent to overcome that. Fiorentina's getting fairly decent results in some tougher games. I don't think Parma is that easy for them. I think Fiorentina will. They have a chance to get to like 14th or 13th, honestly.
Okay, so you see them getting like the biggest jump.
There's 10 matches left. Cremonese and Lecce are going to be the ones fighting for that like final relegation spot.
I'm going to go with, from the last 2 games that I've seen, I think Roma's going out of the top 6. If really? This is the way, this is my boat. That's why I'm not a betting man anymore.
Oh no, you're good. You're
good. I think Juventus somehow, some way, is going to pull it off, and they're going to erase the fact that this season was shit for them because Roma sucks. Roma has been horrible the last couple of games. I think they're not gonna make top 6. That's my bold prediction. And you know what? That bold prediction was brought to you by Fubo.tv. And that segment was brought to you by Fubo.tv, your home for all things Serie A and the EPL here in Canada. And now, Martino, let's close this off because Presidente this morning woke up at like 5:30 this morning, and he started putting data in the calculator and the Excel spreadsheet, and he gave us this graph of percentages, according to him, not according to bookmaker. Who the fuck the bookmakers know, right? Percentages of likely to finish in this position. So, we're saying like Scudetto hopes reloading, whatever. Guys like you and I, yes, we're happy after a Derby win, but we still feet on the ground. It's still 7 points. Inter finishing first has a 96% chance of happening, and Milan finishing first, a 3.3% chance, second 65, and so on and so forth. Let me see Juventus. Hold on. Let me see Roma. Roma finishing 7th, 10%. I'm still going with that bet. But I think this is what sports is all about, right? I know there's stats. I know there's history and everything, but let's be honest. Would we mortgage the house on Milan winning? Absolutely not. But looking at these, I think they're fairly correct, if you ask me.
Right.
But hope is all we got. And as Milanistas, right, it's like, I get it. Sometimes we do these podcasts, we take out our Milan hats and we try to speak to the people as, we're not professional, no, we pretend to be. But I got hope, man. I got hope. Philly, down in Philly, that the Scudetto bus a couple of years ago, he was always telling us, I'm starting it up. I'm starting the Scudetto bus up. And I'm just a glass half full kind of guy. But would you agree with these percentages? So all in green, right? So basically saying Inter, Milan, Napoli, and look at Juve finishing 4th or 5th is very, very similar there. Yeah. Como finishing 6th. Do you agree with these percentages? Well, what say you, man?
I've pretty much, for the most part, I think Como has a better chance than some of these other teams. Maybe they focus on that second leg of Coppa Italia. I think that might be the difference. We'll see how far Roma goes in Europa League. All these other teams are eliminated playing once a week, right? Like the top 4 teams have no Europe. Inter just have the one game against Como, and then if they win, then they go to the final. Just for the Milan Scudetto thing, they had to win just to even put the pressure on Inter. They have injuries. I don't know what happened to Bastoni. Bastoni got subbed off. I am just saying there is a 5-game stretch that they have coming up. And Allegri mentioned March back in the preseason.
Let me name them for you as you keep on speaking, because I felt that these fixtures coming up are pretty interesting. So let me go with Milan's first. Lazio, Torino, Napoli, Udinese, Verona, Juve. Inter, Atalanta, Fiorentina, which they're going to be busting balls, Fiorentina.
Yep.
Inter, Fiorentina, Roma, Como, Cagliari. And they still have that Coppa Italia game. And I'm not going to say that they're favorable on one. I think they're both very good upcoming 5 games on those ones. And I think this is the only reason that my light of hope is still lit, because anything could happen. Anything can fucking happen. And Bastoni injured his tibia. I'm not sure. I think it was a knee on knee, I believe, when he took out the Rabiot
situation.
Yeah.
It's listen, these percentages shift all the time because I did a lot of betting stuff, right? So if one thing happens where, say, Inter lose again and we beat Lazio, that is, the pressure just keeps mounting for them. It is because for them, the moniker that is on Inter right now, they've lost 2 Scudetti on the final match day against us and Napoli. They've lost 2 Champions League finals, and they've got embarrassed in other games that they probably shouldn't be getting embarrassed in. They've had some injuries too. Lautaro's been hurt. Hakan is hurt too. He's got some muscular issues. If their midfield keeps playing like that, Barella does not look good right now. DiMarco has to keep up this historic pace, right? So there's so many things. Kivu has never managed in a position like this in his career. How does he handle that? He only had a couple months at Parma. I think he's done well this year. Inter beat up on the bad teams. They score all these goals. I am just saying that Milan have lost 2 games this season, and they have been very annoying draws. 2 games. That's it. 2 games. 2 of which they should have never have lost. Cremonese score a crazy goal, Bonazzoli, in the first game. The Parma one, it was embarrassing to just lose that, to even have that, right? And there's been a lot of draws, I understand. But you cannot tell me that if Santi Jimenez comes back, Pulisic looks healthy, that Milan are going to be in close games. And if they just get consistent goal scoring or guys that could get hot, you need 1 or 2 players to get hot.
1 or 2.
keep that tempo up. We've seen them do it. They did it 4 years ago where, right, like when they won the Scudetto, they had a win basically constantly. And they did not concede towards the end of it. And they just raised another level to their game. It's possible. I don't think it'll happen, but it is not impossible.
No, it's not impossible, but can we be honest here? You can't lose any of the upcoming 10 games. You might be able to afford a tie.
If you like draw against Napoli away, I could digest that. That's going to be a really, really hard game. But if we're talking like Torino's of the world, like the Lazio match this weekend, you have to win. You have to win all these. Juve at home, you have to win. It's do or die. And what I saw when it was do or die against Inter, they know that they have to do that. There are some winners and champions in this team, right? Like Modric is still here. Rafa's won. Pulisic has won places. Maignan has won places. We'll see if the defense can keep it together. I worry about them. Those defenders, they played great yesterday. It has to be basic perfection, right? And Inter has to slip up. But listen, if that comes with the second star, I said it, it's 2 years after one of the most embarrassing and devastating moments as a fan that I've had when we lost the Scudetto to them. When they clinched it against us, it was terrible. I'm not saying it's Istanbul, but 2 years later, things can change. You never know. And it was a miracle that we did win the Champions League. Not a miracle, but like it was a big surprise. I don't rule it out, and I'm usually a pessimist. I'm like Stevie P. Me and Stevie P are like this when it comes to our viewpoints. And I know your glass half full. I just see something in the water that if Inter just slip up one or two more times, the pressure's always on them. The pressure's not on Milan. It really isn't.
You know what? I hope Presidente listens to this after when he uploads it. Presidente, we need this graph after every single week because we like the calculations. Martino, thank you so very much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. Please, again, plug yourself because whether it be your content, our content, anybody out there, guys, the more content there is in English, the better it is. Whether it be hateful, whether it be glass half full kind of people like myself, but plug yourself again. I know that that Milan pod. You got the followers on Twitter, you got the haters on Twitter, you got Puccio's mom as a
How did they know? They made just real quick on that. They made a YouTube account. I didn't announce anything anywhere. We didn't. Milan Weekly didn't announce anything. They knew where to be.
To comment, you have to be a subscriber for minimum 5 minutes. So I don't know what's going on there.
They quickly made that just to do that. It's crazy. Yes, happy belated birthday to Fabio. Yes. Thank you so much, Vinny. It was so great to speak to you again. Because I think last time it was just me or Stevie P or Jan as well. And hello to Jan because he's always great. Marcello, thank you for having me. Presidente, you're the best. I just appreciate you guys. You're always the best. You always give people opportunities to speak. It doesn't really matter the backgrounds on anything. You support everyone else. I don't care about the one stupid channel that just, acts the way they act. So be it. That's how they want to act. That's fine. But I appreciate all the support from everybody. And I know I see similar names in here that are always commenting on Instagram. I just appreciate it because you know what it is. We're similar backgrounds. We appreciate this sort of camaraderie and family that we have. It just reminds me a lot of that. I'm more like first generation Italian American, so you guys see on the internet the type of Italians over here. It's just you don't get that sort of connection sometimes, and you guys bring that, and you're honestly so great, and I genuinely appreciate it. Matt appreciates it too, so thank you. I don't have a Peroni to celebrate with you right now.
You know what? I think the best description I can give of this community and this respect that we have with each other, whether it be the Milan clubs, the 5 families as we call ourselves, Toronto, Philly, Montreal, Toronto, Boston, never meeting in person.
Right.
Patreon members living abroad, welcoming me in their homes without ever meeting me face to face. Same thing in Boston, greeting me with open arms. I think this is what the community should be about. And are we going to agree all the time? No, but it's okay to agree to disagree, right? And honestly, Whenever I do jump on the Twitter machine, or when the guys share your posts or whatever, dude, keep up the great stuff. I love how sometimes I love it where it's like you don't have the Milan hat on, or it's like, no, I have the fucking toque, I have the hat, I have the jersey with your comments. I love it. It's like just completely two extremes. But no, keep up the good stuff, dude, on the podcast, guys. Check him out if you haven't. Obviously, Martino, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to Frank GPT. Thank you to Steve. Thank you for Vinny for sharing that story with us, for bringing us the luck. I wish it would have been a 3-4-0 win. In the end, we win. Sono 3 punti. There's no asterisks next to that. Just like when Milan won against Como. In the morning, I got it all from the fucking bar, and I'm like, I fucking love it. You guys are shit. I'm like, you know what, guys? Go put the little asterisks in the history books because we didn't play very well. No, we fucking won 3-1. So I'm going to take it. Just like the Interista when they won against Juve. I looked at him, I'm like, but you like that, huh? Fucking them in the ass like that. And he's like, yeah, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. But thank you. Thank you again to Martino. Any closing comments before we take this home?
No. I guess I'll
Let's
be
go beat
driving
Lazio.
the Scudetto bus with David Fante. And shout out to Franco from Milan Club New York City as well. He's always doing a great job over there. And I hope to come up to Montreal one of these days because I want to go watch a game with you guys for sure.
You come. The grappa will be ready. On Presidente, we have the corporate credit card. On that note, guys, from Martino and I, ovunque sempre, Forza Milan. Ciao, guys.